Hello, ladies. Hello. Let me turn this down just a little bit for a couple seconds. But hello, welcome to our Galentine Day. I'm so excited that you're here. This is going to be so much fun. This is not going to be your average normal live stream. We're actually on a Galentine Day. So I'm so glad that you're here. And if you're here, let me know you're here. Share this out. Tag some friends on this. Drop me a wave, drop an emoji, drop some hearts. Hearts will be super appropriate tonight. And let me know that you are here for our special Galentine Pink Wednesday. So it's gonna be great. Okay, I'm Lady for Galentine celebration. So let's just have fun, ladies. Let's have a good time. Let's have a good time. Stephanie says, hey, Lady, hello. Super excited to see you. So just ladies, grab a cup of tea. I got my tea here. I got my rose-colored lemon and ginger tea. We're all about self-love, self-care, relaxing, enjoying, celebrating everything that is us tonight. So grab your tea, grab your notebook. It's going to be relaxed. It's going to be fun. But it's going to be a great time. A super great Galentine celebration. Grab your pen, grab your pencil. I hope you're cozied up. I hope that you're cozied up in your I'm sorry, they tell me the music's turn it off. Hopefully you're cozied up in your pajamas tonight. And hopefully you can receive all this. You see this flower wall of roses for you tonight because you deserve all the love. You deserve all the roses in the world. Hey, India, hello. Tisha's like Galentine. Somebody says, hey, beautiful. Hey. So we'll grab your tea, coffee, whatever beverage makes you feel good. I've got a throat coat tea. That's what's going to make me feel good tonight. And we're gonna have a lot of fun. So share this out because today we're discussing how important it is for us as women to be loved inside and out. We deserve to be loved inside and out, especially right about now, ladies. If you agree, say yes, amen, yes, I deserve love. I deserve all the love. Put that in the comments. Somebody says, hey, beautiful. Hello. Cheryl Nesson says, good evening. Good evening, Miss Cheryl. Hello. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the celebration. So me and our guest, Afiya Hooker, she'll be joining me shortly here. And we're gonna share some ways that you can begin to feel love and give love in a more powerful way. More powerfully than ever before. So make sure your girlfriends are seeing this. Tag them. Share it. Tish says, I deserve all the love. That's right. Somebody else says, yes. Somebody else says, I deserve all the love. I deserve all the love. Absolutely. You deserve it. And I'm here to give it to you. And we're also here to share how you can give it to yourself at any time. All right. So loving self is so key. Loving self is so paramount. And we've got to know this, that we can only love others to the degree that you and I'm not excluded from this, ladies. This is a journey I'm on with you. We can only love others to the degree that we are filled with love and appreciation for ourselves. We can only love others to the degree that we love ourselves. So I can only love you as much as I love myself. All right? And so that's super, super important. And I want you to put that in the comments. Lasagna says, I deserve all the love. That's right, you deserve all the love. And Shadia says, so true. And so, if that's true and you understand that, I want you to put, I'm loving myself more. That's what tonight is about. You loving yourself more. You appreciating yourself more. I mean, I really love you guys, individually and collectively. And my prayer is that you can feel the love when you encounter me. I hope it feels genuine and loving and caring, because it's truly how I feel. It's truly how I feel. Okay. So, yes, I'm loving me more. Yes. Abinay says, I'm loving myself more. Yes. Lasagna says, I'm loving myself more. That is so powerful. That's so key. You know, even scripture in Mark 12 and 31 tells us that we can only love our neighbor as ourselves. So this isn't something I'm just saying. This is truth for all. And this is even in scripture that you love your neighbor as you love yourself. Uh, yeah, Stephanie, Tish says, I'm loving myself more. Like starting today, literally. Stephanie says, I'm loving myself more. Ivanay is giving me hearts. It's beautiful. Cheryl says, I'm loving myself more. Yes, we deserve all the love. The love we can give ourselves and the love that we require others to give to us well. They got to love us right too now. They got to love us right. All right, so, but we can't pour from an empty cup. We can't pour from an empty cup. And so we're going to get our cup filled up tonight. You got your cup? I got mine. Bam. I got my cup. Oh, when I said that they require to love us right, that's right. I saw some hands raised up in the building, up in here, up in here. That's right. It is like yes. The shotty is like yes. So I am going to bring our special guest on. Afiya is here. And so I'm going to bring her on, and we're just going to have a good old Galentine time tonight. All right? Yes, that's right. We can't pour from an empty cup. So welcome to the Pink Wednesday Galentine party, Miss Afiya Hooker, ladies. Hey, Afiya.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, let me turn this off. There we go. Can you hear me? Hey, yes. Hey.
Hi.
Hi. Avinay says, hey, Afiya.
Hi.
Awesome. I think I have something going. You know what? That's what that is. Stop the music so we can hear our guests. So welcome everybody. Afiya Hooker is in the house. She's a psychotherapist, does all the amazing things, a beautiful, beautiful woman inside and out. So I'm going to let her introduce herself. Afiya, tell us who you are, what you do, how you serve, so that we can get to know you.
Okay. Well, I'm Afiya K. Hooker. I am a licensed psychotherapist. I have two practices here in Mobile. So the first one is the Sunshine's Haven Counseling Center that you can see on the screen. And then the second is Yin Yang Wellness Center. I do a host of things. So primarily I'm a therapist, but I'm also a business consultant, a mentor, a speaker, obviously.
Well, welcome. We are so excited to have you here. And as you know, Afiya, we're talking about how women, this is a celebration of women. You and I, we get to love on them through this medium. And then we also we're also going to tonight share with them how they can love themselves even more. And so I was talking about how we can't pour from an empty cup. As ladies, we can't pour from an empty cup. And I wanted to know what you thought about that and what that means to you. And just let you share on that.
Okay. Well, I agree. No one can pour from an empty cup because it's empty, right? There's nothing left to give. But a lot of times as women, we do give and do and do and give for a lot of other people. And so we are usually on the back burner after taking care of family, taking care of home, doing the things that we have to do if we're working. And so it's important to keep your cup filled. And a lot of ways that you do that, and I don't want to get ahead of myself because I have a ton of ways that I can I can
Okay.
share with you all, but a lot of those ways is self-care, making sure that you are being self-preserving. So
Yeah.
a lot of women are self-sacrificers, and so we are going to put the needs and wants of our children, our spouses, our family, other people who are important to us in front of our own needs. And it can make us feel like we're selfish if we don't do that. And so if we can change our mindset from, self-sacrifice and giving and doing for so many other people, and kind of switch it to self-preservation, because you can't give and do to your best potential if you're not doing that for yourself. So of course, some self-care, and then implementing boundaries. Everybody needs time, everybody needs space. Everybody needs that time to pour back into themselves. And so, a lot of times, what that looks like is me implementing a boundary for other people who are accustomed to me pouring into them. It doesn't mean that I'm saying no to them completely or that I'm just brushing them off. It just means no at this time. There are things that I have to do for myself first.
I love that. I love that. That's so true. Something you said really sticks out, and that self-care is not selfish.
Mm-hmm.
As moms, and our position in society, our position in our communities, as women, we are the people who serve the dinners, who cook the meals, who go, fry up the bacon. Well, now we're making the bacon and frying it up, all these things. And we can sometimes the subconscious story that we're seeing and we're hearing inside of ourselves, the chatter we're hearing not inside of ourselves, even if we're not expressing it openly, is that that's selfish to do for yourself. That's selfish to pull away. That's selfish to say no. But you said it best. Self-care is not selfish. And one thing I've learned in my journey and working with women and serving women through the years is that honestly, your love for yourself is your responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
That's something you're gonna have to be caretaker of. Um, Sometimes we wait on somebody to come and save us and do it for us and be the person to tell us, you need to take a break. You need to do this. You need to get some rest. But sometimes that person may never come.
Mm-hmm.
Still got to get that rest. So I'll just let you chime in on that.
Yeah, no, you're 100% correct. So, of
Yeah.
course, self-care is not selfish. I'm so glad that you talked about the subconscious, because the subconscious is really what drives us. It's what, dictates our feelings, our emotions, how we behave, our characteristics. And so, controlling the subconscious is also a way, in regards to not feeling guilty for choosing self-preservation over, self-sacrifice. And no, no one's going to come save you. It is our responsibility to love ourselves. And, we do teach and show the important people in our lives how to treat and love us by the way that we love ourselves. And so it is our responsibility to take that time for ourselves, to pour back into us, to, if I need a break, I'm absolutely going to take it. And an example that I like to give is, people, there are some people who are very depressed on their birthday, and it's because they feel like they're not loved. Well, nobody's throwing me a happy birthday party or a surprise party. No one's doing anything for me. And I place that responsibility back up on them and myself. It's my birthday. It's something that I have to do for myself. And so if no one else in the world celebrates me on that day, I am going to take the responsibility of doing something for myself, and what everybody else does for me is extra. And so that's the same thing that we have to think about in regards to taking care of ourselves on a daily basis. It's my responsibility to make sure that my well-being is good holistically. And so I'm going to do that first. Anything anyone else does is extra.
Did y'all hear that? Put that in the chat. Loving myself is first priority. What everybody else does is extra. That's just icing on the cake. Girl, you are all in my notes. Like, did we know? I literally have that here that you fill your love tank through the things that give you joy. And then if somebody buys you gifts, takes you out, or does something nice for you, that's extra. Hey, you don't have to tell me my birthday, I'm booking the spa treatment, I'm booking the nail treatment, I'm going shopping, doing all the things that I like to do. And like you said, what everybody else does is extra. But I've learned that. I learned it the hard way. Uh, just not doing for myself and putting that pressure on others to do. Like they
Mm-hmm.
ought to do, they ought to do, they ought to do. And ladies, you know, we might be guilty of that sometimes. But it's so refreshing when you learn to do for yourself. And then, like you said, the gifts, other things that come in, it's extra. And
Mm-hmm.
then you mentioned it about regarding a birthday, but that's something that we can do all year long. All year long.
Absolutely.
I love that. And then you mentioned too, Afia, about know how you want to be loved. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to kind of touch on briefly the love languages, and understanding that, and how understanding your love language, how you receive love, is a way to share with others how they should love you based on how you
Mm-hmm.
love. So if you wanted to say anything about love languages or anything like that, we'd love to hear that.
Yeah, so love languages is really just it's a basic thing that I do in couples and marriage counseling, because that is really a foundational thing that we should know about ourselves, and we should know about our partners. And it goes even beyond that. Your family members, your children, they even have a love languages for, your work now. So it's really important not just to know your love language, but to be more in tune with yourself. And you're not going to be more in tune with yourself if you're not pouring back into yourself and having me time and doing that self care. But it's important to know your love language, one, so that you're loving yourself appropriately, right? So if my love language is quality time, that also includes quality time with myself. A lot of times, we take that quick Google test and we're trying to figure out what it is so that we can give it to someone else to provide.
Right.
But we have to provide those things to ourselves. So if quality time is my love language, that means that I need to find an hour out of the week. If you can get more than an hour, a few hours a day, where I am investing into myself, spending time with myself, doing a hobby that I love, resting or taking myself out on a date, whatever it is that you need to do, that's how you love yourself. And that's one way that you show others. And that is also how they learn your love language if you're not just blindly telling them what it is.
Oh, that's so powerful. The comments are popping off. India's like, I celebrate myself the whole month. The whole month for my birthday, she's celebrating. Tiffany Calicetti says, no disappointments when you do it yourself for yourself. Yes, girl. Now, Shadia says, all year long. That's right. Tiffany also says, quality time is mine. When you spend time with me, you love me. So if you
Mm-hmm.
know your love language, will you drop it in the chat? I hope you know it. If you don't know it, that's okay. No judgment. You can take Afia talked about the free Google test, love language quiz. You can take just a few questions and find out what that love language is. Remember, our self care, our self love, and showing others how to love us is our responsibility. So it's up to us to know what that love language is. So if you know your love language, drop it in the chat. I just want to know for my info so I know how to love you. And then after you know that, you gotta. Afia said this too. You gotta share with your family and friends what it is, so that they know how you interpret, how you receive love at the highest level. Nishadia says gifts and quality time. Yes, yes. Love that. Stephanie says her love language is words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time are pretty much a tie for you. Okay, I get it. I got you. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So definitely that. And like we said, we want to emphasize communicating to your significant other, your family, your friends, your coworkers, people you spend the most time with, what that is so that they know how to love you. Tish says quality time. Okay, quality time is like at the top right now.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany says, even your children, yes, even your children, communicating that with them and knowing their love language as well. That's a great point. India says, acts of service, quality time. Yes. Tiffany says, yes, your coworker. Yes, your coworker. I am loving this. Yes. Tell your coworkers what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So there are some ways, ladies, we want to give you a couple ways to practice connecting with and loving yourself. So Afia, what are some things that you do that allow you to fill your cup and
Oh
love.
goodness. I do a lot of stuff. So I'm huge on self-care, and there are, two different types of self-care for me. So there is what I like to call social media self-care, and then there is the real internal self-care. So social media self-care, there's nothing wrong with it. It still fills our cup to a limit, but that is, going to the spa, or getting your nails done, getting your hair done, getting a massage, the bath bombs that you see, all of those nice, fun things are kind of what I call social media self care, because that's the only self care that social media normally shows. And that's the one that's also, it's able to be purchased. And so, of course, people are sharing that so that you can purchase from them. But then on the flip side, when you have more internal self care, that's journaling, that's checking in with your feelings on a daily basis, that's processing how you feel, that's validating your feelings, that's negating cognitive distortions, which are the games that our mind can play. They play tricks on us sometimes, and so we have to make sure that we put our subconscious into subjection. So those are examples, but for myself, I do most of those things. I do check in with my feelings on a daily basis. And so what that looks like is, at the end of the day, I am, sitting on the bed, sitting at my desk, wherever I am, and I'm like, Afiya, how have you felt most of today? Right. And I don't, well, actually I do have it. Let me see. And most of the time when we are talking about feelings, we just think about those core feelings: anger, happiness, sadness, right? But this is what I go according to. So it's a feelings wheel. The feelings wheel allows you to start in the middle, with those core feelings, but then you can kind of go further out and identifying. And so I've been using it for so long that I don't necessarily use the will, but I do use it with my clients. And so it just starts off, if I say, oh, well, I have, been pretty nervous or anxious most of today, I'm going to find that in my will and further decipher. And the reason that is so important is because if I just sit here and say, oh, I'm angry, or oh, I'm sad, I'm not really processing it. I'm just saying it, pushing it under the rug, and then going about my day. If I really sit down and say, okay, well, I am anxious and nervous because I am unsure of how to do what I have to do at work tomorrow, or I feel like my plate is too full, I'm overwhelmed, right? That allows me to identify what the issue is so that I can, process and work through said issue. So after I validate those feelings and identify, then that's when I look at the reality versus my feelings. My feelings are still valid. If I feel anxious, it's okay for me to feel anxious. But if I look at the reality of my situation and say, well, I am overwhelmed because it is me who put all of this on my plate, it's because I'm trying to do and give too much to other people, then I have to have a talk with myself and say, well, this is how I can cut back. This is where I can have time for myself so that I don't feel that way anymore.
Now, that's powerful. Real accountability. Like, I love how you said, I'm feeling overwhelmed because I put this stuff on my plate because I didn't say no when I should have said no. That is really powerful and allows, remember, the theme is ownership of your self-care, how, of your tank, of your love tank. And that definitely helps the person to do that. So I think they dropped in the chat the link for that feelings wheel.
Great.
Uh, and so fantastic. Thank you for that tool.
No problem.
Helping us process, like you said, process our feelings, get down to the root of it. Somebody said that in the comments. Yes, getting to the root. Somebody says, I love it, I like it. Validate your feelings and look at the reality of the situation. That's what Tish got from that. Self-awareness is key. Yes, that's when the Shadia says, love, 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 love that. So there are something else that we could do to practice connecting with and loving ourselves more is affirming what is true. What has God said about us? What is the truth? In life, when we go through things, we experience things, we have conversations, seeds are planted in our heart of comparison and all these types of things inside of conversations. But we can always come back to the truth of God's word. And his word lets us know that we're beautiful, that we're loved, that we're wonderful, that we're powerful. And so since we're affirming that, and since we're processing like Afiya taught us, I want you guys to put an affirmation in the comments that you love, that's coming up for you right now, that's resonating for you right now, or maybe even in the last week. What is it? I want to know what that affirmation is, because affirmations is absolutely a tool for affirming the truth despite what's happening around you. So, I am beautiful is one. Like we said, I am loved, I am wonderful, I am powerful. Drop that affirmation in the comments. And I know it's going to encourage somebody else as well. See. So I know those are coming in. Now, this was a good one that I saw a friend put up, and she had people affirm this. It said, I will forgive myself for anything that I have done in the past to sacrifice my worthiness.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, that was such a good one. Um, and that's really, really awesome. Somebody says, Tiffany says, I am grateful. Yes, fantastic. That's a beautiful one. Stephanie says, I can achieve anything I put my mind and actions to. Yes, yes, yes. God's word tells us we are loved. Somebody else says, I am confident, capable, and competent to complete the daily task. Absolutely, absolutely. You can always, throughout the day, affirm what is right, no matter what's happening around you. So, Afiya, you are a therapist, and so we had some questions. The ladies knew you were coming, and so we had some questions to just roll in. Some key questions that I think would, if you answer them, would really provide insight. We still got affirmations coming in. Somebody says, "I deserve the best. I'm victorious. I am blessed." Yes, yes, yes. Keep those coming, ladies, because when you affirm what you believe, you see it show up in the fruit of your life. So keep doing that. But I'm gonna pull up those questions, Afiya, that we had to come in. We know you're a therapist and you are local. So ladies who are looking for therapists, there you go. They can we'll make sure we give them your information and drop it in the chat and let you share it as well during the live. But just to sort of encourage some ladies tonight, we're gonna have you answer these questions um, that they had, that they submitted to us. How important is it to include mental, emotional wellness in the conversation on self love?
I would say that it is impossible to have a conversation about self love without including your mental and emotional wellness.
Yes,
Love is an emotion, right? Of course, it's an action and it's things that we show and do. But when we are talking about feelings and emotions, we feel loved, right? We feel if, we feel liked. We feel a lot of different emotions. And so, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. It's very important. So you can't really have self-love until you, what we talked about before, process. And so a lot of times therapists, including myself, get on webinars and different things and we talk about processing, but we don't really give you the tools in regards to how to do that. And the fact of the matter is that the tools are different for different people. But if we're talking about basic foundational steps, it's going to be what I discussed before. So if we are working on increasing our self love, and I call them the self love, self esteem, self acceptance, self awareness, self actualization,
yes,
all of those selves require the same type of processing. And so that's going to be first identifying what you're feeling and how you're feeling, what your emotion is. The second step is going to be validating those feelings. So many times we feel uncomfortable and we tell ourselves that we shouldn't feel that way. I shouldn't be angry. I shouldn't be sad. I shouldn't feel hopeless. But in my perspective, there is no such thing as a negative emotion. There are negative reactions, but emotions are just uncomfortable. And so if we validate that this is how I feel, it's okay that I'm angry. It's okay that I
yes,
feel hopeless. It's okay that I feel guilty. But after validating, it's what happens next, right? And so the third step is going to be what we talked about before. That's looking at the reality. This is how I feel, but what's the reality? What's the realistic thing that's going on to make me feel this way? And once you do that, then you can make changes that are appropriate for you to increase your self love, your self esteem, your self confidence, and all of those other selves.
Oh, that's powerful. That is super, super powerful. Are you able to do teletherapy? Somebody said, can she do Zoom? Because I know they
Yeah. Yes, we do
you
offer
do
offer
teletherapy. Yes,
teletherapy.
therapy, everybody. Okay. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Love that. So we're gonna we got another question. And I think we kind of touched on this, but just want to put that back up there because it did come
Mhm.
in. How important is it for women to be participants in their own mental, emotional well-being?
And again, that's a 10 out of 10, because again, we're taking accountability, we're taking responsibility, and like Lady D said, we're taking ownership. And so we have to be able to be our own participants in those things without expecting other people. Of course, the people in our lives who love us and who care for us can contribute to it, but they should not be full owners of what happens in our emotional and mental well-being. And so if I show up as my full holistic, emotionally stable, mentally stable self, then I allow other people to do the same and meet me where I am so that we can be whole together instead of, broken pieces all over the place trying to figure it out.
I love that. And love how you said that, we can't put that burden on others. Sometimes that is a huge burden for somebody else to care as much as they love us, but them to be burdened with the responsibility of our emotional, mental well-being, that's too much for any
Mhm.
other human.
It is.
Too much for any other human. Therefore, we must be full participants, must take ownership. Love, love, love it. Here's another question. It says, what are some signs that I need to seek out a therapist? How do I know that I need a therapist?
Well, I'm going to be a little biased only because I think that therapy is beneficial for everybody. Even if you
Agree.
have a full cup, even if things are going well, I think that therapy is beneficial for you to get more self actualization, more self awareness, and to just, prioritize the things that are, best for you, characteristics. So I'll say that first. I'm a little biased, but if there are things going on, one way or one sign is going to be transition. Transition is difficult for people. And so if you are going through a very transitional time, that can be, a new baby, a
Yes,
new marriage,
yes.
a new move, a new career, anything that puts you in a transition, comes a lot of pressure. And so it takes a toll on our emotional and mental well-being. And so that doesn't mean that you have to be in therapy forever. There are several people who come to therapy just to kind of figure those things out. They're here for a couple of months and then they're on about their way. Other signs are going to include just feeling overwhelmed. If your emotions are all over the place, if you are feeling very anxious, if you're always worried, always concerned, can't figure out a lot of things for yourself, that's a good time for you to seek out therapy. um, if your eating and sleeping habits are off, things of that sort, we don't really pay that much attention to it because we're on the go, we're busy. But if you're able to realize that you're not getting the right amount of sleep, or you're not able to go right to sleep when it's time for bed, you're up ruminating and thinking about things all night, or you have to take some type of thing to help you get to sleep, those are some of the signs that, help identify when it's a good time to seek out a therapist.
Love, love, love those signs and pointers. The people agree. Tish is like feeling overwhelmed, transition. She's putting that out there. India says that's good. Absolutely. Those are fantastic reasons. And like you said, Afia, it doesn't, you going to therapy is something we should normalize as part of self care, as part of self love. And so we can go even if we don't think we have a problem. Just
Mhm.
go, just to go, have a conversation, allow somebody from the outside to take a look at things, to just listen to you and hear you out. That is so transformational. So love, love, love that. Okay, we got another question, just two more. This was a good one. What signs what are signs for recognizing depression, specifically for introverts, people who are already just quiet? And people would say, oh, they're quiet, they're just a quiet person. How does a person who is an introvert, or those who are in their life who love them, recognize depression even in them?
Okay. Um, And so what I will say, and one thing that I think our community specifically doesn't realize, because we don't have a full handle on the, mental diagnoses, is that someone can be just as bubbly and happy and cheerful as I am today and still be depressed, right?
That's
So the signs of recognizing depression within yourself first, and then I'll do for others, is similar to some of the stuff that I said for seeking out a therapist. And so if you are having feelings of hopelessness, if you are having feelings of guilt and regret and just feeling downtrodden or sad, that's a good sign. Again, appetite or weight changes in your sleep. If you no longer enjoy doing the things that you normally would do, if it's a struggle or a strain to just get up and do your daily activities, right? So if I'm accustomed to going out to lunch with my sister every week, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I just can't do it, right? Even daily activities, if it's more of a struggle to get up and get the kids ready for school or getting yourself to work, those are some signs within yourself, to kind of see, maybe I am, feeling depressed. I feel a lack. I feel hopeless. I am sad, even reckless behavior. So signs that you might see in others. And it is a little bit more difficult because people can put on a mask and a facade so that you can't see it. But some of those things are going to be the same. You want to pay attention to what they're saying and how they say it, right? And so even if it is an introvert, if you are accustomed to, talking to them and they kind of change their verbiage. And so an example of that is, even if they're an introvert, I might talk to you and say, oh, I had a pretty good day. I'm just, getting things situated at home. I'll talk to you tomorrow, right? But if I'm going to change my wording, it's going to look like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just going with the flow. I don't care, right? So you want to pay attention to how they're talking to you and what they're saying specifically. You want to pay attention to their behavior, because you'll be able to see some changes in what they're doing. So even if they're an introvert, right, they might not want to do as much as they were doing before, even if it's by themselves. So if you're accustomed to them reading or taking a walk in the park, or going out to dinner by themselves, things like that, if you see any changes in those types of behaviors, it might be a sign for depression. And the final thing I want to say about that is that there are a host of different types of depression, right? And so we can go through a depressed season without being clinically depressed. There's nothing wrong with that. And so if you can identify it early and start working on some of those things, it doesn't transition into major depression.
wow, that's powerful. Lots and lots of great feedback and comments in the chat. Avane says good. Yes, normalize. I think she's talking about when we say just going to therapy, just talking to someone. She says losing interest in things that normally make them light up or happy. Yes. Tisha lists all the things that you mentioned, Afia. Yes, absolutely. Behavior changes. And so we want to recognize those in ourselves, even our loved ones, just so that we can encourage them um, through whatever they're experiencing. All right. One more question. And here it is. List some of the greatest benefits for women who decide to participate in therapy. So we go to therapy, and what are the good things we get to walk away with once we decide to really participate and do the work in therapy?
I would say the biggest thing is that you find yourself again. A lot of times women get lost in their roles,
Yeah.
who they are for other people. And so a lot of the women that I see come in because they just don't know who they are. They can't remember what it feels like to enjoy something that they came up with themselves, or, they don't even know what they enjoy anymore. They just know, what makes the kids happy, what, they do for their spouse. And so one of the greatest benefits is that you get to find yourself. And in finding yourself, you find out, what you like, what you don't like, what interests you, what your love language is. You get a greater sense of personal self-awareness. So you find yourself, you gain more clarity into who you are, you have self-awareness, your confidence and self-esteem increases. And a lot of times we think that self-esteem is only how a person carries themselves, right? You walk in the room, you look good, your clothes look nice, your hair is done, you got a pretty face, right? And so we just automatically think that that person exudes self-esteem, but true self-esteem is what you think about yourself and what you're telling yourself. So I can walk into a room bubbly and thinking that I look good, right? And everyone else thinking that. But if in the back of my head I'm telling myself that I'm stupid, or I've made bad decisions today, or let me make sure I suck my stomach in because I know I look a mess. Whatever it is that you're saying to yourself, that is the true definition of esteem. And so through therapy, you're able to increase your self-esteem because you negate again those cognitive distortions, and so you come up with the positive affirmations and the things positive about yourself. In addition to the selves, you gain increased satisfaction in your interpersonal relationships. And so what that looks like is either you implement the appropriate boundaries for yourself and others so that you can have more satisfaction in your interpersonal relationships, or we learn of the people around us who are not a benefit to us. And so therapy allows us to cut those things off as well.
Correct.
You get a therapeutic toolbox is what I like to call it. And so you are, benefited by having a host of skills and tools that you not only use in therapy, but you also use outside of therapy. So it helps you while you're in therapy, but once you're gone and you finished, you can continue to use some of those skills and tools. And then another biggest, and this is my last one, is that you learn how to manage your emotions. You learn how to control your subconscious, and you diminish some of those uncomfortable feelings that you've been sweeping under the rug. And so we don't sweep it under the rug. We lay it all out on the table and we manage them and control our subconscious.
Oh man, that's a lot of benefits. A whole lot of amazing benefits. Somebody's like, Afiya is on fire. Their fire emojis just going off because you just broke it down, girl. You were like, you need to go. You're gonna get this. You're gonna get this. You're gonna get this. You're gonna get this. You're gonna walk away a brand new person if you show up and do the work in therapy. As personally a former therapist, having gone through therapy, having been inside of the coursework for it, and realizing that I'm in here because I'm learning this because of what I need.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes. We're endorsing it. It's beneficial. It's powerful, powerful, powerful. Tiffany says this was great. So how do we find you, girl? How do we book an appointment? Where are all the links, the sites? How do we connect?
Well, I'm all over social media. So Afiya K is my personal page, but all of my therapy is all over that. You can find my personal private practice, the Sunshine's Haven Counseling Center. That's on Facebook and Instagram. In my private practice, it is just me, and then I have a staff of other therapists who go out into the home to actually provide therapy to families. And then in Yin Yang Wellness Center, which is also on Facebook, I have other employees who provide therapy as well. So those are the two ways. And the website is thesunshineshaven.com. That's sunshine with an S. So thesunshineshaven.com.
The Sunshines with an S.
Mm-hmm.
Haven.com. Somebody drop that in the chat so we know where to find her and connect with you. Or do you do any group sessions as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do individual, I do couples, family, and groups.
Fantastic. Love, love, love. Love, love, love it. Thank you so much, Afiya, for being here tonight.
Thank you guys for having me. I enjoyed it.
For this special Pink Wednesday Galentine edition. Thanks for taking our conversation to the next level and helping us realize that self-care and therapy are synonymous. And we need that to be our highest and best selves and to enjoy our life to the full, the life that God has promised us, enjoying it to the full. Therapy can be a part of that and probably should be a part of that for many of us. So thank you so much. They're putting your links in the chat. We enjoyed you. Somebody says we enjoyed you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Yes. Awesome. Well, have a great night. I've got a couple announcements to make, but
okay.
Let's put some claps in the comments later. Like, thank you. The church is like, thank you, Afiya. I'm super excited to have had you join us tonight.
Thank you all. You all have a great night.
Yes. Ladies, wasn't that amazing? That was so powerful. So, so powerful. Um, and then somebody put the Facebook link up there as well. We got claps, claps, claps going on in the comments. It was just that awesome. And so I want you to know that you are loved. You are loved inside and out. And we pray tonight that you saw and witnessed some tools and have added to your toolbox, like Afiya talked about, some things that you can put in place to love yourself more and to be able to articulate to others how to love you best. Tiffany says, amazing. Thank you guys. Yes, Avane says, so glad I came. I'm so glad you came as well. So just right before we close, ladies, just want to give you an opportunity to give tonight. We're able to bring you this type of programming because of your generous support and gifts throughout the year. And so we want to continue to serve women in this way, to educate, empower them, provide a platform for them to shine and share their gifts as well. And we're able to do that when you share your financial gifts with us. So tonight, you can give via Cash App, RPC Daphne, or you can give online, restorationplacechurch.org, or you can text keyword give to 251-220-3697. I believe conversations like tonight are life changing. I believe conversations like tonight encourage somebody, inspire them to get up, to live their best life, to go out and get a therapist, to do something that they've never even thought of doing before. These conversations are important, and we're able to present them and bring them to you often because of your generous gifts. So share a generous gift tonight. You sharing a generous gift tonight is like you literally paying forward some love, encouragement, and inspiration to another woman. So pay it forward tonight via a gift of any amount. I'm going to give a $50 gift. You can join me in giving that $50 gift or get as close to it as you can. You can may be able to go above and beyond $50. That's going to be great and received as well. Pay forward transformation, pay forward the inspiration to another woman who gets on this live and watches it, and the next Pink Wednesday and watches that and is inspired and empowered to live in purpose, to live in calling, and live her best life. Love you guys so much tonight. This has been amazing. Hey, keep drinking your tea, whatever beverage you had. I'm going to finish mine up. I'm going to get my journal out and start journaling some things. I'm about to seal this night up with some affirmations for myself and tell myself how much I love myself. I want you to know how much I love you so, so much. I hope you can feel the love through the screen. And I can't wait to see you next month for another Pink Wednesday. See you soon.